would have looked better.
Whatever. I got the cap on, man.
Ain't gonna look for nothing. Yeah, of course.
Oh man, I know you guys are in the middle of a great deal of moving, so
It's crazy.
I'm very appreciative of your time.
Anytime, my friend. Something I'm supposed to wear?
Oh no, you can leave it there. Pick
Just
up.
leave it there. I'll pick it up. All right. Okay.
So, man, I can't thank you enough.
Oh,
I
it's my
definitely can't thank you
pleasure.
enough.
I'm excited for you that you're doing this.
Man, I
It's great
appreciate
stuff.
it. Yeah, so the title of the podcast is authenticity.
Yeah.
And the purpose, of course, like I was telling John, is there's a lot of people that get kind of stuck trying to figure it all out.
Sure.
And this gives us an opportunity to say, hey, we all get stuck, but, just keep moving forward. It's an ever growing process. My tagline is, the journey forward is paid in growth.
Oh, I love it.
So,
It's a great tagline.
Here we are, man. So, this is authenticity here with the great Andy Gutman. Many titles: son, brother, father, record exec, producer, and president. All those, and I know I'm missing some.
Oh, that's all right. Too many titles.
With all the titles, which one do you hold the closest?
The most important title I have is father. That's the thing I'm most proud of.
Where do you, and this is the same for it's the same for me, but the thing about fatherhood to you and to your daughter, where did that the sincerity and love, like the easy to say, oh man, it's fatherhood. Where did that derive from? Like, where do you think you?
Yeah, I will tell you that I think we all have expectations of fatherhood, like what it's going to be like. And before my daughter was born, I was very excited about that. But the minute she was born, my life changed, and I was going to protect that little child with everything I had the second she was born. And like a light, like a switch, flipped immediately, and I was in Papa Bear mode from day one. And I think being a father is the only way you understand that. Like that's your life. You would do anything for your kids.
Yeah, it's a different type of growth. I don't think you can ever be prepared for it.
No.
But it is probably one of the greatest responsibilities that's a gift.
It's true.
That you can ever have, because I think it causes you to go further than you would have if it was just you. It's like an actually, okay, I can do this. I can pull this. I can work this. I can figure this thing out because of the overwhelming sense of the value of it. I think that is the greatest. Like I said, my greatest contribution to this world is my kids. The greatest love I could ever have, because it comes without question, is my kids to me.
Absolutely.
And life becomes the journey of legacy, making sure that they love the last name when I'm well and gone.
That's great. I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's so important.
Yes, indeed, man. So, like, how was the relation when we talk about father, man? What did you pick something up from a childhood with the relationship between you and your father? Like, how was the household to help? Like, was there any moldings in front of you to say, okay, I can handle this, or someone you can use as the model?
Apologize. My father. Every father, I like to think we all kind of mold our children in our own way. We learn from what our parents do.
Mm-hmm.
And we say those are all the things that we want to do or we don't want to do. We learn from that, and then we find out that we teach our own kids things that they don't want to do and the things that they want to do. And it's a little of both. I had very fortunate. I learned my work ethic. I learned how to be a leader from my father. He was a school administrator, and so he was a deputy superintendent at the height of his career. and a great leader. He cared about his people. But as a father, I looked up to him. I idolized what he did and who he was. Um, he was very strict disciplinarian, so I was always like, I'm going to be much softer with my daughter. Never going to, talk to him that way. But we all learn. You learn that.
Yeah, you learn structure.
Yeah, so I think I learned a lot from my dad in terms of, just being genuine.
Mm-hmm.
He was himself at all times with everybody. And that's the way I always wanted to be. But he cared about if he was going to be a father, cared about, his kids. If he was going to be an administrator, he cared about the people that worked for him and treated them like people. Some people, when they're in charge, they put this distance that's totally like it's not their genuine self. Because, I have my leader hat on today, or I have my father hat on. I think what he taught me most was to be my genuine self at all times. And that's something I try to pass on to my daughter. It's like, be who you are. It doesn't matter if people like that part of you, like who you are yourself. And there's no one like you in this world. And that's one of the big things I try to pass on to my daughter.
When we shift the focus to ourselves, I think that's like a crucial part, which is why I wanted to start the show. Authenticity is that the road to discovery of understanding that statement, like be yourself, or find yourself, or as I was telling my oldest son, um, he found he was playing with the Oculus thing on, and they swinging and doing in a whole other world, and he hit his hand, and I heard his reaction to it. So I got up, I went downstairs, and like, you okay? He's like, yeah, he's shaking his hand, shaking his hand, shaking his hand. And when my mother, she comes downstairs, she said, what happened? I was like, oh, he was on the Oculus. And I was like, take the thing off. And he's walking around, he's holding his hands. I'm like, let me see, can you bend it? And then I saw his eyes watering up, like he was fighting back the tears. And I was like, come here. He came up to me and I was like, you don't have to mask your feelings.
Right.
If it hurts, it hurts.
Right.
It's okay to cry.
And that's a great lesson.
Finding that truth, that regardless to what you're in front of, you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling instead of holding it in when you're in an environment where you could be vulnerable. And I think part of finding yourself is being in a space provided where you can be vulnerable enough to explore all those information, all those feelings, in the place where you have someone like yourself, parents or guidance or therapists that can help you navigate those emotions so that when you put it together, you don't feel like you're weird, you're outside, but you're able to locate exactly who you are. So on the journey, that's all I have to say, on the journey of finding out who you are in the vast things that you have your hands in, like how was that as a child, like Andy Gutman as a child, like how did you, the road to where you are now, like what was it that paved that way?
Yeah, as a child, I was very shy. I was not confident in myself. And I think, it took a long time for me to get past that. One of the big things that really changed my life and made me say, there's only so many days on this earth and I better get to what I was meant to do here, was here at Farbman Group, where we had, our president of Huntington Construction, Ron Morozic, who he was living for his retirement. And I officed next to him. And every day he'd come in, I've got a year left till I retire, 2 years, whatever it was. And then I'm going to spend time with the grandkids. I'm going to spend time with my kids and travel the world. And then one day at work, he went home, was talking on the phone to his best friend and collapsed and died almost instantly. And all those things he was going to do never got done. And it's not that he lived a great life. He was a very happy guy. Was a very funny guy. But that left, those things left undone or unsaid really changed me. And so I started saying, well, I always wanted to write songs, and I've written all these songs, but I've done nothing with them. I wanted to produce music. I have no musical talent, but I can write pretty well. And I started working with others who do have musical talent. singers, instrumentalists, beat makers. And I said, you know, if I want to leave something on in this world, I don't know how many days I have left. And that changed the journey for me. So I was, you know, I was never more confident in myself than saying, it's time to get to being who I was meant to be. And that started me on a road that I hadn't crossed. I was just working every day.
Yeah, life sometimes will deal us some things that will wake us up. Whereas we've heard the comment, you know, like, oh man, don't take life for granted. And it's easier said than done. But I think in life there's a thin line that we tend to cross, and we don't necessarily. It's so thin we don't know we passed it. It usually takes someone else to be like, yo, you know, you need to slow down. You need to do this. You need to wake up. And I think I got that. I don't think I really started living my true authentic self until after the accident with the
Yeah,
boys.
that'll do it.
You know, like because you would get so caught up in the norm, like you said, man. I remember when I was a great guy, man, but we get so caught up in the norm
We
of
do.
our plans, and we forget that no one promises those things, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we wake up, we get in a routine. Like with me and the boys, it was haircut day.
Yeah,
We at the barbershop. It was just I remember the day clear. I was the plant was on shutdown, you know,
right.
so I was 2 days away from going back to work. And I go get something to eat, bring it back so the boys got something to eat, and instead of parking on the side of the building, I parked in the front. And it got late and it started raining. And I was planning for a trip and saying goodbye to the barber and hop in the car and I yell out seatbelt check. And they're like, yeah, we got our seatbelts on, and I'm trying to angle out and I had to park back in just to angle out some more because the car parked too close. And then 9 months of being off work, trying to recover, had to deal with COVID. I said had to get put in an ambulance with the boys. You know, it was it was like a real introductory to life is but a vapor. It's a blink, it's a flash. And before you know it, you can either choose to be present in it or just be a memory of
Yeah,
it.
you're hitting it right on it. Those wake up calls, they hit us all at some point, whether it happens to us or to someone around us.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. I was at the hospital yesterday visiting my dad, who's ill at the moment, but the guy next to him was an amputee, just lost one of his legs, and his whole outlook on life now was like so positive. You would think he's sitting there lying in a hospital bed, some level of depression or like, what am I going to do now? This guy was like, I got to learn how to use my prosthetic leg right away so I can get to the next one and the next one until it's really a comfortable one
Mm-hmm.
because he's healing, he's doing all that, but he's like, man, it's just a different world for me now, and I'm going to change the way I look at it because I've been given another chance.
Yeah.
It's a great perspective, and just like yours with your accident, it
Yeah.
changed your world, and the things you're doing now it's inspirational for everybody.
Yeah. I think life is the most beautiful to those who have
Well
their times. A
said.
high school friend of mine, last year was our 25th year high school reunion. And caught wind right before the big event that one of the guys had cancer.
Mm,
So I went to St. John Hospital,
yeah.
sat with him, and it was the exact same day the doctors came in and said there's nothing else they can do.
Mm,
So we sat there and we just talked about the accident. And he was saying, yeah, this, and this. And I was like, your perspective of life right now is probably the greatest that any of us could ever have.
sure.
And he was like, yeah, like, because now you're seeing things that none of us would be able to see. Yeah, sure, that the reality of it all is not one that any of us would wish upon ourselves. But he wasn't depressed. He didn't cry. Instead, man, he spoke more life into me and this particularly into existence because he was like, man, there's so much. He was like, listening to you talk, you're so motivational. And he's like, I had my mom's order your books. He was like, I got a microphone at home. You're going to start a podcast. Thinking about it now, man, it was crazy. I got the chance to see him one more time. And right before the picnic of last year, he had passed.
Mm.
And it was like, again, like you said, one of those those point of views that, you know, God, the universe, whoever allows you to have as a gift. And sometimes it's the perfect gift that's given from or was produced from a quiet space that you were in, and you're like, oh, I'm just trying to figure this out.
Right.
And that extra push to really see how valuable what's inside you is to be produced is ever more, because I love seeing when you post like new music. Right, the first thing I do is I go and I'm listening to it. I'm like, okay, I see the creativity, because one of the things I learned about you is you have a very extensive love for music, and it makes sense. You know, the creative part. Like, how did you? What was the love for that particular art? Where did that cultivate from?
I think it came from a number of things. Growing up in Southfield,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we would play basketball every day, and you had to have the radio playing while you were
Yeah.
playing basketball. So, for me, I'm going to age myself here, but it was Run DMC playing on it. It was LL Cool J. It was Prince, and that just, I love that. Music can change your feeling about the world any moment. Something you're listening to can make you sad or happy or feel energetic or whatever. So yeah, I think it was some of that, and every road trip we ever went on as a family, we always drove. Like it was 12-hour road trip in the car, and there was always music playing, and I fell in love with that.
Was it the was it the right? Like, one thing I love about music, um, especially like you said, we dating so like not 44, and coming from that era, whereas it was a story masterfully pieced together that had that you could follow along with. Like, okay, yeah, I understand that. It made me appreciate lyricism.
Oh,
And even as a like even as a writer, right? Loving to be able to write. Um, was it what caught you first? Was it the skill set of the words, or was it the the music, how it was put together? Because like when I had the opportunity to be in it, I noticed that there are two different things. The music being put together was something unique within itself.
Absolutely.
And if the music itself was like beyond phenomenal, the wording itself had to match it up in order to make something magic happen. Yeah. But I fell in love, as much as I love writing, when I had an opportunity to be in the studio, I fell in love with the producing of the music aspect more than the writing, because I don't have a music ability. Like, I had an ear, but like I can't play near instrument. But I was so fascinated at what I saw, and I became even more fascinated when I started going back listening to Temptation, Al Green, Isaac Hayes. Not necessarily their songs, but the music. Because here it is, we're sampling a lot of the stuff like James Brown, all live instruments. And I'm sitting there like, how did they know to cue it here? Ray Charles, which is the structure to a person like Hans Zimmer, you know, Ludwig. Like, I'm listening to, like, now I'm like listening to movie scores because I have such an appreciation for the richness in music. What was it? Was it the writing, the lyrics that you related to as a writer? Was it the music that ignited the flame to want to be a writer, be a part of it? Like, what was it for you?
I think it was both, actually. It's interesting. I watched a movie when I was younger called Eddie and the Cruisers. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but about a band, and they're trying to come up in the world, and it's really kind of cool. But the main character said words and music, you got to have them both. They're so important, and one is not great without the other. So I fell in love with that concept. Like the music has to be perfect. It has to, match the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said it really well, but I'm a huge fan of both. I love the words because I can relate to them.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if I can't, I'm like, that's not for me. But that music that goes with it, or whoever it is, like I love like Prince is my favorite artist of
Mm-hmm.
all time, but that man played every instrument,
Yes.
and that to me is genius right there, especially coming from someone who can't play a single instrument. There's
That's right.
brilliance in that.
Self-taught.
Yeah. But if you listen to some of his lyrics as well, they match up so nicely with the music. There's a genius behind that as well. And you think about songs that I would never think of creating, like When Doves Cry. Who
Mm-hmm.
comes up with that? The whole concept of it, matching those words and the composure that he has when he's doing that. It's to me, it's an amazing combination of everything that's perfect in the world.
Yeah. I always say, I mean, sidebar, I always say, man, was still here because I think would love the artist her.
Oh yeah, I agree
Oh,
with that. Amazing.
when the first time I heard her play the guitar, I said, if only. Oh, I know he would take pleasure, and just her writing ability, her musical instrument gifting. I said, man, she is like a transcending artist.
She
Um,
is.
that is in a wonderful time. Kind of always wish those times would just intersected just to see what would have been produced out of that, because I think his last of days was his most giving, from the stories that were coming out afterwards. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. But in the giving sense, man, you are definitely influential, and I can see how the things that we've discussed so far are the things that you got from your father. Because as a leader, being able to balance out, love and following your passion and desires, it just kind of transcended you into like one of the top businessmen here
Oh,
in the state. Like, because I can easily say call you a mentor,
thank you.
because of the work that because of your private work has given you a public space. How is it? How is it when it's quiet and then you deal with the reality of it? It's like, like for an example, I still look at my boys and say, I'm a whole father.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm here, like, or I go to work and someone asks me about my book. How did I get here?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? What is that for you? Like, how do you see that? Like, when just when you have your own time, it's like, this is me. This is the.
I don't know. I think to me every day is a journey. So I try not to get caught up in, like where I am is still not where I want to be in life.
Mhm.
And so I try not to. Every once in a while, I take a look back and reflect on things, but I like to look forward more than I like to look back.
Mhm.
So to me, the journey is still ongoing every day. It's like more I need to do and more I want to do. Um, I love being a part of this company where the Farming Group, I can make a difference in the lives of people every day, or with my daughter, or the community. Giving back is part of, I think, the essentials of being a leader. And to me, I think if you don't have empathy for others and care about those around you, you're never going to be your best self if your only focus is you.
Yeah.
So there's things I want to do, but there's also, I want to be that person who's giving and caring and focuses on others. There's a book called, the Leader Eats Last,
Mm.
and I really believe in that. There's Once everyone's eaten, I get my
Yeah, you
chance
do.
at that food, but not until then. And that to me is what lets me sleep at night. I don't do a lot of reflecting, but I do, like looking back and say, I
Mhm.
mean, I always look back and say, what could I have done better?
Mhm.
But to me, the journey is ahead still, and I love focusing on more that there is to do.
Yeah, life is a windshield, not a rearview mirror.
Absolutely.
I think one of the greatest things I learned about leadership came from Dr. Miles Monroe, he said, a great leader works himself out of a job
There you go.
so that the job runs when he's not there. And then he can take care of other things because his presence that he's set keeps everything going, so he no longer is a need or a necessity. Presence being there is not a necessity. And I find that amazing when you can actually understand that concept because
Right.
nothing can become a reality until you understand.
Yeah.
So, how does shy Andy now come to journey to being at the speaking at the Chamber of Commerce,
Huh.
receiving awards? Like it's
Yeah.
like this is your reality, man.
Yeah, the awards, I'm not a big believer in that. I think sometimes getting those is good for the value of the company.
Mm-hmm.
As a person, I'm not a big fan of that. But, I think the first award I got in business was CFO of the Year. At least that's the first one I can remember. And I remember it was for Cranes Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember winning that thinking, I don't even know how I got there. But they told me it just a few minutes before the event. They're like, well, you got to speak at this. And I said, I don't think so. You have the wrong guy. I can go up and accept an award. And then I started thinking, the things that scared me about it, that fear of people's feeling about my work, but everyone else could get up there and do it. I'm like, why are my words not just as good as anyone else's? And it's the first time I ever, really felt comfortable. Like 5 minutes before, I'm going, I don't know what I'm afraid of with speaking. I talk to people every day one on one,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just getting up in front of a bunch of people. They don't know me either. So all these people that don't know me, I got a couple minutes to let them get to know me. And I was speaking in front of both Farbman brothers at the time. I think Susie Farbman attended that as well. And so, I don't want to make them look bad. This
Right.
is my chance to represent them well. And so I got up. I told a couple jokes. I was myself, and before I knew it, it was over with.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I've really felt like I've never looked back on that. To me, it's not even confidence. It's just, I want people to get to know me and me to get to know them. And if there's an opportunity to impart anything I've learned, for 1 second, I can make a difference in someone's life by doing that. I want to do that. So I now pride myself because no one else here wanted to be the speaker for the company. We've got some great speakers. David Farbman, when he was active in the real estate side,
Yeah.
I would have sat back and said, "It's you. Don't. No one else needs to speak." He's
Right.
one of the greatest speakers I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But he went on to deal with other companies and left kind of that void
Mm-hmm.
where someone here needs to be that speaker. No one was rushing to it. Andy Farben's an incredible speaker, but he doesn't really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, someone's got to represent that because otherwise our competitors will be the ones speaking,
Yeah.
and I don't want that. So I've stepped up in a big way with that, and I've learned to enjoy it as well. I get to speak with people in the industry or in business in general and learn from them in the same conversation, and it really is comfortable. Just like you and me talking here today, it's a comfortable thing as long as you're comfortable with yourself. But otherwise, people will miss out on what you have to say, and you'll miss out on what they have. I mean, I learned so much from you these days. It's incredible. Your books, your words of wisdom. You are really thoughtful in what you do, and you're bringing that. And it's, I love hearing from people in general.
Yeah.
I love when you get someone focused on better world, better people, making the world a better place.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to shut up and listen. So I'll let you.
Yeah.
Go.
Nah, man, it's. I think one of the what stuck out to me, I think, is something I had to deal with too. Is when you said, the accolades come or the spotlight gets shined on you. It's like you got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
But then the own personal light switch happens, and the wrong guy realizes that he's the right guy. Right, and it's like when you come into your own personal revelation that it's almost outer body where you go back and you review it and you're like, oh man, wow, that's me. But then it happens, and like you said, when it happens and it's so quick, it's like I'll never understand the profoundness that may be presented in an opportunity or a moment that we share until it's reflected upon from someone outside the box. And they say, "Well, you do this so well. I can't believe you said this." And it's like, what happened? You know, but I don't know, I guess it's the variables of the own life that we've lived and experienced, and then it just puts us in a position to whereas what we want to see and feeling like or coming into our own to understand that, okay, well, we can bring this about. And if it just lands on one, then I can go to sleep knowing that I've done my part. One of the greatest things I would always love to remind people that today is your day. This is your breakthrough moment. You never want to be the guy that was close to the diamond, that the picture is digging, it's like the dude gives up and it's just a thin layer he could have chipped through. The other person, they just,
Oh yeah,
they just go there, they won't give up.
I think that's an important part of it is never giving up on anything. You don't know how close you are to the finish line.
Yeah, that part. I saw a show last night. One of the podcasts I like to listen to and look at is The Pivot with Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and Chan, and they have a plethora of interviews that they great guys from here and there. One of the guys was Inky Johnson. I think I sent it to you. And, man, like I love all these phenomenal guys. But the guy I looked at last night, Lewis Howey, he talked about when he went to interview Kobe, and he said he finally got the meeting. They said, okay, 8 o'clock. He gets there to the office. And they're looking for a space, but he said he walked down this one hallway. And he said he walked past the office and we saw a silhouette. It was just completely black though. So when they got to the office, it was completely black. He was like, "Who is that?" She said, "Oh yeah, that's Kobe." He said, "Well, what is he doing?" He said, "Oh, he's usually the first one to get here." I said, "Well, what is he doing in the dark?" He said, "Dreaming." Right? It's like he's retired. He has the Oscar, right? But yet he's there for everybody. But before he got there, he was training. He was training his daughter. So his day started at 4 a.m. Gets the training done, and he goes to the office and he's just there and he gives himself time to reflect, gives himself time to dream and plan out the day and organize everything. And that just goes to show towards the dedication of the craft of being what you need to be in the moment and seeing what you want to accomplish in the future. Because just like we both were shy kids, trying to find what our self confidence within ourselves is, because we was the wrong guy. Kobe was the little boy that didn't score in a whole season and at a prominent ball camp that his father dominated in. But we all find our way somehow. What is the standout thing about your journey that has kept you focused to keep at it when you felt like, okay, I'm tired?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's a couple things with Farberman Group. The thing that stands out to me because in your lifetime you go through recessions. That's the way life is.
Yes.
The U.S. does it, and so I look at it every day, and I'm like, I've got 200 lives here at Farberman that depend on me to say we're going to make it to tomorrow, and their families. I take that all. The nicest thing that I get, what drives me is we have these company events a couple times a year. The families come out, the spouses come out, and everybody comes and has a good time. Mm-hmm. And I look at those people, I'm like, I'm responsible for making sure that those, the money they're bringing home is consistent so they can feed their families, have these good lives, get that smile from being parents. Mm-hmm. And so every time I think, oh, we got a huge problem here during the Great Recession, there was holes in the boat that I ran out of fingers and toes to plug. Right. But every night I'm like, I can't let these people down. I need an hour more to think about this and solve that problem. And to stay here a little later because that family is depending on me. And in that aspect, and it's the same with my family. Like, there were times when there were tough times here, and I had to work through the night. And my daughter's like, you gotta come home tonight. I need you to be here. I'm like, I will be home tomorrow, I promise. But tonight, I gotta take care of that so you and I have that tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing for your kids to realize. But it's also, you gotta have a spouse that understands. You gotta have people around you that understand. There's a time like a fighter. You're preparing for a fight. The night before the fight, you are on your own. You got to prepare for yourself, get that sleep, get your mind right, and that's all you can focus on. So for me, that's the one. There's several things there. There's the families I'm responsible for. There's my family, making sure that none of them tomorrow are without what they need to live life, and that'll keep you moving.
That child aspect is major.
Oh yeah.
Especially when I was trying to get into Chrysler. I was working for a parts supply company that provided the parts for all big three and the military. And that opportunity finally came. Of course, that came during the pandemic. I did the whole application and the test at home on my laptop. But when the opportunity came, it was probably through like the roughest time I was dealing with. And I didn't want to give up the opportunity though, because I knew what the benefits were that came along with it. And so I created this plan, right? Because of how diligent I worked at the job I was at. I said, I have to do these dates where I have to appear for Chrysler in order to make this thing work. So I told the job I was at, like I need these days out. Like something came up, I can't come in, so I can lock it down. When I locked it down, they gave me a split shift. So the split shift was Monday, Tuesday, 4 p.m. to like 2:30.
Wow.
3:30. No, it was 4 p.m. 4:30 to 3 o'clock. 3 in the morning.
That's a tough one.
Right. That was Monday and Tuesday. I had Wednesday and Thursday off. Then I had to go back to work Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday was 5 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Oh, that's sleep off. Yeah.
So I made it whereas I could still work 8 hours. Like I could still give them their 40 at the other job. And I went into HR and was like, hey, look, this is the opportunity I got. I don't want to lose here though, but this is so you guys don't feel cheated.
Right.
And on the days I worked at night, I went to the other job during the day and they let me off early. And then I worked the days I had off, which was Wednesday and Thursday. I just worked a straight full day with them, 8 o'clock to 6 sometimes. And then on the night job, on the days I worked in the morning, on Friday, and sometimes I would go in on Saturday, I worked in the evenings. I would just come in. So everybody was like, man, how's you doing this? Like, what kind of schedule you got? I'm like, I had a plan. Right. And the goal was Chrysler. Right.
Absolutely.
So the boys were like, they were old enough to say, well, Dad, where you going? I'm going to work. You gotta go to work. Like, Dad, gotta go to work. Dad, gotta go to work. So what I did was so that I could build them internally, I had to come up with something so that it would be depression that builds up. Right?
Right.
So they knew Dad would be leaving, which means that would be a presence that's gone. So instead of focusing on me gone, I made a way for them to focus on me back. So we started saying, I say, like, Dad, you gotta go to work. Like, Dad, gotta go to work. But Dad always what? And they would say, come back. Like, that's right. So every night, like, Dad gotta go to work. Like, all right, Dad. I was like, but Dad always does what? And they said, come back. That's right. They always were focused on me coming back. So regardless, so whenever I left, they knew I was coming back.
Yeah.
And it's important even now, that they're much older. They're like, Dad, you gotta go to work. Like, yeah, I gotta go to work. But I magnify the time that I have with them. Today I had to take them home. They've been with me since the 3rd. right? So this is the longest stretch period they've had with me, and every moment we've done something.
That's great.
We've been downtown, we've been the water parks. I have to do something with them that I feel maximizes the time, so that the time that I'm away will never be greater than the time that they remember us spending together. And then I have to spend time in their world, so I get it. Especially again, like you said, when we're in the hands of the Father, and we have to nurture this gift, but we have to show them all aspects of life. There's an aspect to have fun. There's an aspect of structure. And there's an aspect of responsibility. I guess the ultimate goal would be to hand them a responsibility, much as Bert did, allowed Andy and David to have, as far as running something within themselves, but creating a structure based off a reality that they see and appreciate, especially when it leads you to a path to discovering and putting out the things that's inside you, like with your writing and the love of music. And just being an overall great person to not just family, but to adopt families, as you say, and just see, man, that level of leadership is always great to come in contact with people to understand the reality of the world is big. I am small, but I can make a big enough impact to touch generations when I'm gone.
That's awesome. Great perspective.
Yeah, man, it's great, man. Oh man. So now in the midst of this move,
Yeah.
that's it. This been this is you guys have been here. This company's been here as long as my mom has worked here.
Oh yeah.
This is This is like crossing the ocean, man. How are you taking it all in? Like steering this ship to, and like it's easy to say, oh, we just move it to another building, but it's a nuance that comes with that.
Yeah.
Like you're planting a flag in a different territory. Like how are you handling that? Mentally.
Yeah, I think to me it's exciting, and I actually put something out to the team this morning because we move starting on Friday. We're in our we start moving to our new place, and we're in when people return Monday morning, they'll be in their new workplace. But it's more than that. It's the end of an era, and it's the beginning of a new one. And so I told our people, I want you to spend this next couple of days enjoying the nostalgia, looking back at the victories we made here, the friends you made, the great times you had, and embrace that and enjoy those, that nostalgia. And then come Monday morning, it is a new era. It's Farbin actually 3.0, because we started in Troy before I even started with the company into Southfield about 30 plus years ago. And now this next generation, not only the next generation of Farbin employees, but of Farbmans. We've got 7 kids among David and Andy.
Right.
You never know who's going to come back and lead it, which is exciting. But you're in a new home with a lot of growth capabilities, and all of our Farbman companies, real estate, healthcare, Carbon TV, they're all going to be together. And so the synergies are going to be exciting. And the future is just right in front of us. So Monday is a new era. They get to be a part of that, which is really cool. We all get to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. To me, it's more than just new office space. It is a new generation. It is a new era. It's a new look forward for everything we're doing. So I'm excited. I want our staff to be. I want them to see it as more than we got to carry stuff out and we got to hire movers. We're not many people know this, but Monday morning when they come in, we'll have a champagne toast for them, and we can start there. And so it's going to be exciting. Bring your energy, because anyone without the energy is going to be left behind. That's it. Always is. There's
that part.
Yeah, there's nothing. I always say the only constant in our lives is change, and so you get that opportunity to change. You get the opportunity to grow. We're looking forward to.
That is a great perspective, right? Because, of course, anything that change, the 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 other side of change is the unknown, right? Just like the other side of growth is pain,
Sure,
right? Like, there is no growth without challenge. So when you phrase it that way, like like you have an opportunity, right? Like this is an opportunity. Like this change here is if you don't see it as an opportunity, then you won't be able to produce at your maximum effort, man. And that's definitely a mindset to have. That is a great perspective that changes the opportunity. And when you look at it that way, like, well, opportunity to what? It's like, well, that's up to you.
It's all open. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah,
It's the cool thing about change is you have a blank scorecard.
yeah,
You can do anything you want to do,
yeah.
but you got to embrace it.
Tell them go look out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like opportunity for what? Go look out the window. It's there.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess you can relate that to life. Like, man, life is just a window, man. Whatever you see, you can see the grass, you can see the sky.
Absolutely.
You know, and that will denote the distance in which you go. All right, before we get out of here, man, I got one more question.
Yeah, yeah.
One more question. I think this is probably hopefully it'll make you think a little bit. But what is the one piece of advice that you was given that you, if you had the opportunity to tell the shy version of you as a kid, that this moment here isn't the defining moment, but it's the moment that will lead us to this point where we'll be living our dream?
Boy, that's a big question. Man, you got a good one there. You know, I think on that topic in particular, because my advice to everyone is work hard, no matter what you do, put in the work. But when it comes down to, taking that shy kid and telling him, I do this with my daughter all the time. She inherited my shyness, and I wish I could get her to but no matter what, they've got to find their own time to be who they're going to be.
You just want to just hold, just like, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
BJ is me.
Yeah. So, and you see it, right? And you're like, no, I wish I could take all my knowledge and get you. You're here where I was.
Yeah.
And I wish I could get you here today so that you didn't have to go through it all. But I think with everyone, it's live your journey, wherever it takes you. And if you're shy today, you'll find your voice. Take the time to remember to find your voice and realize that your voice is as good as anyone else's. No one's better than anyone else, but yours is as good as anyone. People deserve to hear that. And I think that's an important lesson that we all learn is that what you've got inside you, like the things you're telling people, Brian, today, are the things that, you could have affected so many more lives if you had caught on earlier in life, right? Positively. Yeah. But it took that accident to get you to go, I am going to be who I was meant to be, and you're doing it now. And, I think that's something we've got to tell people is your voice is as good as anyone else's. Live it, listen to it, let people hear it. Because you are the change that they could be. And sometimes people have to learn that on their own.
Yeah.
But I think the more they hear it from people like you who mold the world and change it, the easier it becomes for them. Like, I can be like Brian. That's what I want to be. I want to be that person making a difference. And so just keep doing you and be who you were intended to be.
Oh, yeah. That said, man, I appreciate the time.
Yeah.
I know a lot's going on. I can't wait to get over to the new building and celebrate with you guys. I mean, I didn't think about everything will be under one roof. I know David's there, but man, this is going to be crazy.
That's going to make a difference. Having someone like a David. Yeah. David is a change maker every day.
I need to reach out to David, man. I would love to be able to sit down and interview.
He'd be great,
him, man.
Yeah, and he's going to be he'll be downstairs from us.
Yeah.
So
I most definitely got to reach out to him, man. Well, again, thank you so much.
Of course,
as always, you've always been a figure to look at all the years I've got a chance to know you, man, and just you allowing a vulnerable space to be who you are has impacted me and my family. So the people you talk about as far as the family, like I say, from my mother being like you have impacted the lives of myself and my sister the way Bert and Susie has impacted the life of my mom. So it's only a full circle, man, of appreciation. So you can easily sit back and recline as you see my accolades and know that you took part in it.
So much more to do, but I will tell you, I can't tell your mom that we had a special surprise for her at the new place. place
Excellent.
because of all she's done for us. And I'm excited to, it's just a little gesture to show her how much she means to us all. But
oh yeah, man, I can't wait to hear about
pretty
it, man.
exciting. Yeah. So
You see, she didn't know I was coming here today.
no,
She
your
was like,
mom's
"Who?"
wonderful. I know. I know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be excellent. That's gonna be excellent.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank
All
you
right,
so
my
much
friend.
again. It's Andy Gutman. This is your boy B Low. This is Authenticity.